Alrighty, so today I'm going to be doing a little video overview of the PowerGoat V2. I've put in already almost 200 miles on this bike. I'm loving it so far. I'll do an official review when I get a little bit more time on it, and then I can get everything ready. I'm going to more or less do a long range test today. Just gonna be cruising down the beach. I have my settings set through 1 through 9 just so I can have a little bit more adjustments through my speed. I usually go about 30 miles per hour during the streets. It's capable of going about 45. I've set my wheel balance or wheel tire to 22.8, I believe. I saw on a Facebook group that gets you the more accurate GPS reading, and I've checked myself and I saw that. So I'm just gonna be cruising down to see how far I can go. I do have my charger on me, just in case. The whole round trip should be about, I would say, a little over 40 miles. So that's going to be fun. Mostly taking the boardwalk around the beach. So let's see how that goes. Overall, this bike has been doing me really good. I've taken it with my buddy. He has the Super 73 R Series Adventure. And we took that around the Riverbed Trail. I believe we went about 36 miles, and we came back and we still had about 50% battery left. And then when we went inside, we just let loose, so that really drained our batteries. I've probably topped off on this bike, max settings around 43, 45 miles per hour. This bike is very capable. I haven't done much to it. I barely gotten it a couple weeks ago. I put tons of miles on it, and I think it'll last. Taking off right from the start, it can pull away pretty nice. My start gear is all the way maxed out. Top speed maxed out. Like I said, I usually like cruising around level 6. It'll get me about 29, 30 miles per hour, which is pretty decent. Not too fast, not too slow. Around here, a lot of people go over the speed limit. So even if you go 45 miles per hour, it's a little sketchy going like that on a bike lane. But you're a little too slow to go in the actual driving lane. So I just cruise it around 30 miles per hour. The bumps don't hit me that hard. The suspension on this is pretty nice. Other YouTubers have mentioned about the rear suspension being a little stiff, and I agree with that. It is a little stiff, but you have to know that this bike is meant for 300 pounds, so if you have a passenger, it's actually pretty nice to have that stiff suspension. Right now I'm just going to be cruising down this street. I'm going to be ending up at the beach. Take a couple shots. Whoa, big bump. Took that a little bit, but it's kind of sketchy doing that one hand. It is nice. This bike has cruise control too, so once there are no more cars around, you just throw that on, cruise around. Sometimes I'll go into the lane, my left lane, and then I always just keep an eye on the mirror. You have a little bit more space so you don't hit those bumps. I also did put flat out on this already, just in case. My buddy with the Super 73 got one nail in his bike, replaced the tube, and the day that we put flat out on our bikes, we went on a little ride, and he came home, saw another nail. So good thing We put all those in, and it's worth it. Totally worth it. It takes 10 minutes to do. $50 worth of supplies will save you a bunch of heartache without having to take the wheel off. Especially if it's a rear wheel, you don't want to be messing with the hub motor or anything like that and possibly damaging your bike. Because it does get pricey. And this bike is very stable. I can go no hands on it really well. I do have a electric Expedition at home. That's my other bike, my wife's bike. We got that so we can haul our boys around. And it's really nice. But it's a lot better that I can go throttle only going up to 30 miles per hour. That bike is throttle only up to 20. So it's true class 3 and pedal the way all the way rest till 28, 29. There you go, there you go. So street's a little empty right now, so I can throw on the cruise control. There you go, no hands. It's pretty nice, pretty stable. It helps a lot, especially if you're carrying something. The other day, took my fishing rod down to Newport Harbor and caught a little spotty, which was nice. I want to be able to take my bike other places to go find some new fishing spots. Like I said, this bike is very capable. I took that ride, came home, cruising around the same speed, maybe a little slower because I was carrying stuff, and I came back around with 25% used up, so ended up with about, I believe it was 60 volts that read. And I do suggest going off of the voltage rather than the percentage. The percentage is there, here and there, but you do have to turn it on and off. I believe I saw on Mr. Central Driver's video, he did mention that very heavily. It is a little annoying, but what I do is I just flip a snapshot charge on 'Alrighty, welcome to Huntington Beach. Parking lot super empty because it's early in the morning. Gonna head up the boardwalk a little bit. So I'm putting my thing down to pedal assist level 4, just because I don't want to be hauling ass down the boardwalk. I'll be cruising around probably 15 miles per hour. Just makes it a little bit safer for everybody. This boardwalk would take me all the way down the peninsula. If any locals are watching, you know where this boardwalk ends. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll either make a video about answering that, or I'll reply to you in the comments. Motor noise isn't that bad. I've seen some other people say it is loud, but you really don't notice it. It's electric. Coming from a guy that rides motorcycle, this is absolutely dead silent. Still going about pedal assist level 4, just because we are going to be going through the neighborhood route here before we go on to PCH. I want to try to avoid all the cars as much as possible and do a more realistic test of how I would actually ride this. Since it's empty right now, I can show you guys the cruise control. So you gotta be going, I would say about over 10, pulling the throttle. Then you would hold it down, you see the symbol come up. There you go, cruise control is activated. Like I said earlier, this bike is very stable. So going no hands is, if you're comfortable, is doable, feasible. And turning with it isn't that bad. You just gotta lean with it. Use your thighs, use your body weight. And yeah, I'm cruising around 21 miles. I believe I did mention it earlier. I did reset the wheel tire and I checked it with a GPS on my phone. And it is accurate now. So it was before, with the settings that it did have, it was reading a little high, a few miles per hour high. So now it should be reading a lot better. So yeah, we're just going to be cruising here. Maybe go down the boardwalk a little bit more and then we'll probably hit the streets. I don't want to get stuck on the peninsula. Or maybe we can go on the ferry too. I think that would be pretty cool. Alrighty, so we're going to be entering the peninsula right now. I was planning on let's bump it up to level 6. I was planning to take the inside route, but I just thought of the boat ferry. Hopefully they'll open this early. If not, it is going to... Lady? It is going to add some miles going backtracking. But I believe they should be open. This bike is perfect for this area. I took this bike probably last week during the daytime when it was super busy. And oh man, you were able to cut through everything, and being able to just go a little bit over, probably about, I believe the speed limit is 35. Being able to go even just 30 with the traffic, you can go through everything so fast. So this seat, it is a little hard. I believe it should break in. I've gone 200 miles, over 200 miles on it. It's somewhat broken down, but it is still pretty firm. It's comfortable, don't get me wrong. It's very comfortable. I've gotten, like I said, 40 miles on it, and I came home, next day I was fine. And like I said, my wife went on it yesterday, and she did mention that she would like, almost missed it. The seat on the back is a little wide for her, and it probably does need to get broken in a little bit more too. So, alright, let's head up the peninsula, or the ferry. Pedal assist all the way to 0. I don't want to whiskey throttle this on the boat. Thank you. There it is, now it's starting. It's just a quick ferry ride. There's Newport Harbor. My buddy and I would fish this a good amount. We would take our kayaks out and catch some spotties and sand bass. Island right now. Balboa Island. We're just gonna cruise out, exit the bridge, and then we're gonna be taking some roads till we hit PCH. So far, I'd say I've went about a little over 10 miles. I love this bike. I can literally take it anywhere I want. And today, after today, we're gonna see what type of range it actually has. Because honestly, with the range of 60 miles per hour, or 60 miles, that is plenty. I don't think I'm going to ever be riding anywhere further than I am going to be today. I will be out of my comfort zone. I will be sore after today. Right now we're going downhill, so we're only pulling about, that's the same thing, 1,000, 1,200 watts. And for anybody that don't know, you can easily calculate how long you should be getting in each pedal assist level. Just go about the speed you want to go, and look down to your display and look at the wattage that you're pulling, and just see. Just know that if you have a 60 volt system, you times it by your amperage, and you have your watt hours, or your total watts. So all you gotta do, let's say for my instance, I have 60 volts, 40 amps, that's 2,400 watts. If I'm gonna be pulling about 1,200, let's say, make it an even number, that's 2 times the speed what I'm gonna be going. So at 30 miles per hour, I will be going about 2 times is 60 miles. That's a really good speed. I would want to go a little less than that, because like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, you do not want to go that far and drain your battery that far. So I'm just gonna go as far as I can today. Once I hit about 60 volts, I would push it to maybe 59 if I'm close to the beach, and I'm heading back. I'm not pushing it because I don't want to have to stop by somewhere and charge my bike for an hour. We're about to hit up PCH. Let's see how this goes, because cars do go faster on this route, and I would want to go in the bike lane right there rather than going on the sidewalk, just because there are a lot of pedestrians out in the morning. But we'll see. I'm gonna stay in level 6. We're only about 2 miles away. So far about the bike, I'm loving it. When me and my buddy took the bike out onto the riverbed, we did that at night. So his light on a Super 73, it's not the brightest, honestly. But luckily this bike has a high beam, so it was able to throw that beam out pretty far. We were able to see a lot, and that's what I love about this bike. You can take it, like I said, you can take it anywhere, anytime. As long as you have the capacity to go that far. And if you want to go even farther, like do what I did today, and just bring your charger with you. By the time you go that 60 miles, let's say even 50 miles, you're going to be tired. You're going to want to take at least a 1 to 2 hour break with 2 chargers. That'll get you about 12 amps back if you take a 2 hour break. So you're about a quarter of your tank with 40 amps, quarter capacity there. And if you want to go a little bit more, go for another maybe hour or 2. You can take a longer rest. That's an additional 2 miles. Let's check our voltage. Our voltage is at 63. That puts us about 77 volts. Really nice. Made it to the park. Gonna go into the parking lot, and then there's going to be a little entrance down under the PCH to get into. So if you guys can see that, this just climbed that hill pretty easily. Well, enough for me to go on cruise control too. Level 6, pulled all 3,000 watts, but I was going about 16-17 miles per hour, and it did that really easily. And it didn't draw too much power. I mean, it did draw maximum power, but it got me up. So I got down to the beach. If you saw that little clip I put in, I tried to get a couple of snapshots, but the sand was really soft, so I couldn't get any, I couldn't get this bike to stand up on itself. I have some battery, so let's just go check out these campgrounds. We're gonna head back now. Made it to the beach. I said 276. Probably went about 20 miles, let's just say. I'm at 61.1 miles. And it's saying that should be about, I would say 68%. And the display is reading 73, which isn't far off. I am running low on my GoPro battery, so I won't be running it too much. I'll run it here and there. I'll probably have it running while I'm on PCH, just in case anything happens. At least it'll be caught on camera. Still staying on pedal assist level 6. Go around 30 miles per hour, which isn't too bad because I will probably make it to these guys at the red light. I could go a little faster. I do have more battery than I anticipated, so this bike is exceeding my expectations. I expected to go back, well, we'll see what the results are when I get back, because this should be a 40-mile round trip with a 60-mile capacity. That should get me about down to 30-40%. So I think I might be right there. And like I said, you don't ever want to run these bikes down all the way. You're just going to have a whole lot more trouble. By the time you get down to that 20 miles mark, start trying to find a charge point, coffee shop, just to charge at. I've seen some people say they go to public libraries, because you can just chill there for a while. And these bikes, the batteries are really easy to take in and out, so there's no much hassle. Just lock your bike up and take it into the library or a coffee shop, charge it up real fast. Saying real fast, but it'll probably take at least 2 hours to get you a decent amount. And get you back on the road. Right now I'm going downhill, sustaining at 30-31 miles per hour. I'm only pulling about 200 watts, but that is because I'm going downhill. If I'm steadily going with either a slight downhill, I'll probably only be pulling 500-700 watts, which is really good. If it's on the flats, I'll be pulling about 1200 watts. So like I said, that's about give you about 2 hours at that speed going with this battery pack. So right now I'm going a slight uphill, pulling 2000 watts, slow it down to 26 miles per hour. But I am reaching to that halfway point of this battery pack. I'm not going to be too worried until I get down to about the 50, I would say about 52 volt mark. I got a long way to go, so I don't think I'm going to be going on the bike path again, just because that speed limit is only 10 miles per hour and I want to be going at a faster pace than that. Might bump it up to pedal assist 7 just to get a little bit more speed, because right now I am going 28, which is a class 3 max, but I'm going to go a little faster, especially going on the PCH like this with this many cars flying by me. Hit that 300 mile mark, which is nice. I've seen a lot of people go over 1,000 miles on this and saying that their bike is like new. I'm gonna try to treat this bike as nice as possible. Get me as much life as possible with this. And price, it's really nice. For $3,000 with the dual battery, you can't get much of a more bargain than that. There is a big Facebook group with daily postings. And they do mention that there is a back order on a lot of these bikes, but that just shows you how many people are buying these bikes. It is very nice having this bike. It's like having a motorcycle, but you don't have to have your M1 license. You don't have to pay gas. Keeping up with traffic very well here, and if need be, they go any faster. I have the capability of going a little bit faster. Alrighty, so earlier I did put it all the way to pedal assist level 9 just because I was going into a small bike lane and I didn't want to be stuck next to the traffic, so I was just cruising along the traffic. It didn't bring me down that much. I'm at 59.5, 307 miles total, so I would say about 30 miles. And I got about 10 miles left to go, which is not too bad. Going at a fairly fast speed, 39, 38. The power is being cut because I am so low halfway, so it is being cut down a little bit. Full battery on this bike will probably get me to 43. I weigh 180 pounds, 5'10", and I can get all the way up to about 43. Before I did actually hit 45 on this, but that, keep in mind, that was having it at the wrong wheel diameter. If I'm going on a beach cruise, I might not have a helmet, but I am not going 40. I am not going past 35, honestly. That is way too fast. I feel like after going this low, the start speed is a little slower. Bring me down to 59 volts, which is not that bad. I'm probably about 3 miles away from my house. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to my house, I would say about at 30 miles per hour, or 30 miles. I'm probably almost back to my house. Like I was talking about the seat earlier, my rear end is getting a little sore, so I'm just standing up, riding a little bit. It's not that sketchy, honestly. I'm going about 37, 38, and this bike is very stable with those two batteries in the middle. It's very, very nice. The suspension, the rear suspension is a little stiff. So I've seen some people switching those out for a lighter spring, but I don't know. I'm just gonna keep it because I do want to bring my kids and my wife around, so I don't want to bottom out too much. I doubt I would, even if I switched. But yeah, so I'm a couple miles away. Right now I will put up the screen on my final display readings. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys have any questions at all about this bike, e-bikes in general, I'd like to do my research so I'm somewhat knowledgeable. Anything you guys would like to see me do with this bike, or even the electric Expedition, I could take that one out too. And let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, whatever, all that jazz. And I will see you. Peace.